If you're a man, I know you respect women because you are respected. And if you don't respect women, you know the obvious answer. You don't deserve respect either. Hi there. As you can see, I'm wearing artist hat. And as a female, I love fashion. I love to dress nicely. Even though there will be judgment, some people will say, "Well, you look amazing. I love your style." Some people's like, "Oh, this lady, she's here, not professional." No matter what they're thinking, it does not matter to me anymore. Before, I was very concerned because I really care about how people think about me, but not anymore, a long time ago. I'm here to share a very sensitive topic. It's very unique and different. The perspective you probably never have heard, or if you have, people are scared to share that. But I'm going to share with you. I want to share with you a story. In one of my daughter's class, she shared with me that last year, she said to me, "Mom, last year I love it more because we can always play together with a lot of people. We don't have small groups, and I was so happy that we can play with each other, no matter gender or no matter which group of people, because we're all the same group, the same class." And I said, "Yeah, that's wonderful. What happened this year?" She said, "Well, I'm in this small group, which I don't think I'm only in this group. I still want to play with other people." And little bit background about my daughter, she's very much easygoing with people, and she loved people. She loves to connect with people, and she doesn't have that problem to have a small group. Long story short, she ended up being struggling because she's, "Mom, I'm in this group. They're my best friends. I really love them, but I don't want to upset them because whenever I want to play with someone else, they will just grab me back. They just want me to stay in the group." And I said, "Why you have to do that? You can love your friend. You don't have to be controlled by them." And then she said, "Yeah, you're right, Mom." And then I said, "Why can't you just play with the boys as well?" "You, Mom, like I want to, but whenever I play with them, there's once when I play with them, why you play with boys? Why are you even chatting with them?" I was like, what kind of logical is that? I don't know what's going on. This is only a iceberg, like a small part that I can see from my daughter's age. They are so young, so little. What's going on in this world? I want to give you a little bit background about where I grew up. I was always growing up with both girls and boys. In fact, I played more with boys when I was little, and I like to stay with boys because, guys, I am also a female. I don't have a problem to stay with boys because if you look back, I'm one of the only female leaders in many organizations in the corporate world. And I realized that if it's not because of my experience that I always stayed together with a boys group, yes, they can be rough, they can be very tough, but I learned a lot from there. I learned to be straightforward and learn to not always be controlled by emotion. Boys are more like, yeah, easy, simple, and girls are more complicated. Female leaders, you understand what I'm saying. And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to judge anyone. The topic I want to bring up is, in fact, that we are all humans. Rather than say we're women, we're men, why don't we say we're humans? Let me share two more stories with you, then you understand why I want to share this perspective. And there is a danger about that. Number one, when I went to one of my friend's house and she was doing something and we were chatting, and she said to me, I asked her first, I said, "Hey, what is your dream? Because I love dreams. I'm always asking people questions. What's your dream? Whenever you see me, I'm gonna ask you, what's your dreams? What's your dreams? Anyway, long story short, and she shared with me, she said, oh, I never have thought of that. That is a great question. And she said, I really don't know. I just, I just want to have more babies. I just want to be a housewife. I really enjoy that feeling. I can spend time with my children and to be home for my husband. I was like, wow. Well, I knew I completely understand where she's coming from, and I really respect that. I was like, and the next thing she said, well, I don't know what's wrong with the world. We're just focusing on housewife and stuff. Now we have to do work and I have to be housewife. Now we're doing more and more. The men are doing less and less. I was laughing. I was like, what? That's so true. Well, when we say that's true, it's not about everybody. It's not about, like, for example, my husband, he does a lot. He's amazing. Like, I'm also doing my part. I do work. I also do housewife role, cooking, we're quite balanced. But in general, it's so true that people, female, are fighting their rights and they're fighting, then they become more capable. Yes, that's great because everybody can be more capable. And it ends up becoming that they are busier and busier and busier. And then they start to complain they're so emotional, they have to carry so many things. But sometimes we are the problem. And we have to understand, never be a victim. A victim mindset is toxic, is dangerous. Why I'm saying that? As a female myself, as a woman, I never ever put myself in a position to be a victim since I grew up. When I was younger, yes, I am here to remind you, my female buddy, friend, you are not a victim. In fact, not just female or women, men have their rights. And in my life, it's never about female or male. It's about the teamwork. It's about humans. We need to defend human rights rather than just female and male. There's another story. One of my great friends, she is a very successful entrepreneur. She always shares stories with me. And one day she said to me, have you ever heard of that club in Australia? I was like, what do you mean? Which club? I don't know. There's a male club. It's ridiculous. They started that a long time ago and they don't let people come in. They feel they're privileged. They're whatever, whatever. And I said, I don't know. I'm not interested. But she said, this guy's just so aggressive. They think they're better than women. I was like, oh, there's a lot of anger and rage in there. But I really never thought of that. Like in my life, I love to see the success for men. I love to see the amazing things women have done. Why we always have to talk about you, me, women, men? If you're a man, I know you respect women because you are respected. And if you don't respect women, you know the obvious answer. You don't deserve respect either. But the same thing, if you are a woman, you respect men. And if you don't respect men, don't expect people respect you either. And it's the same thing, no matter it's a male or female, we don't need to feel that we are the victims. Because respect is earned. It all started from us. And I know there are the times that we feel we're less privileged. We feel that our body physical condition, we have this ridiculous time once a month and the emotion came from nowhere. But trust me, if a guy who is amazing and decent guy, they will understand. My husband knows when there's warning, the red light. He's like, something's coming soon, right? I was like, I don't know, maybe. And he's going to be very alert, highly alert, and he will be extremely more patient with me. But whenever that thing is gone, then it's my turn to be more patient with him and with children. It's a teamwork. I love to learn those amazing things from male leaders, and it has really impacted my career, my life. And also, I have the privilege to impact many male leaders in the industry as well. The same thing, I had a lot of great female teachers in my life who give me hope, who give me extreme patience, and give me a role model that I can look up to. And another day, I met this guy. In fact, it's actually 3 days ago. He shared with me his daughter is in engineering industry. I said, "Oh, that's awesome because my daughter always want to be an engineer." And he said, "Okay." But in my mind, I thought boys are better at math than girls. He said, "No, no, no, engineering. In fact, females have better gifts in there because they can be more patient, they can more go into details." I was like, "That's true." Here's the thing. This world needs both male and female. Whether you're a male or female or you're not sure about your identity, remember, we are humans. Let's focus on the mutual respect each other's freedom of choice, and not to be selfish. Just, when I say respect each other's choice, it's like if there's a queue, like you want to go jump the queue and get your stuff, but you're infecting others, that's not acceptable. But what I'm talking about is don't ever want to control others when it's not their choice. Let me share with you a little bit about this. What I'm saying is, do you have a friend in your life who always want to achieve something, and when they have a point of view, you don't really agree with them? And then when they find out like you don't agree with them, they'll be like trying to persuade you or convince you in the next 25 hours until you say yes to their idea or say yes to what they believe. It has to be your belief. Do you have a friend like that? I have quite some friends like that. Isn't that familiar? It's the same thing like when people in this world, let's say there are some networks, they're female networks, right? I'm not here to judge you, but there are female networks, and I did pay attention to that. And I was thinking I ever had that idea, I need to have a female network, but I never want to do it because I don't agree with it. I don't agree with this kind of point of view that, oh, female has to support female and male has to support male. You actually departing, like you're separating this community, because we cannot just live in a whole female world or a male world. We should live in one world. And that's why I never want to do this female network stuff. And it's funny that people use that as a tool to earn money. Like see this women come together and say, "Oh, you're a poor thing," and they're crying and victim. We don't need to be like that. We are stronger the way we are. Accept our identity. We are female. We are female warriors. And there are male warriors too. And when there's a time that I need to show my weakness, I can't carry the heavy stuff, can you please help me? The male will help me. But we don't have to be the one carrying all the heavy stuff, because when the male needs something like going to details or some small things that we are better at, we can then help each other. And that's the thing. We are living in the same community. Never be a victim. Let's walk together and work together in the same community. And we are all humans. Let's defend the human rights, not female rights, because we do not need to fight the rights if we all have the same and equal human rights. God bless you.